Hi, in this video we will talk about the preparation plan and exam strategy of XAT 2018. With XAT going online this year, there are a lot of apprehension, a lot of queries that students are asking. Let us try to understand what we can expect in XAT 2018. It is very critical exam, XAT being the most consistent as far as level of difficulty and variety of question is concerned. It is the most respected exam as well, and being the last big exam of the season, it is very important that you plan it out properly. A lot of students will not be highly motivated to appear for XAT. Primary reason can be the schedule, the delay, because a lot of people are not able to sustain such a long preparation. First exam starting somewhere in the month of October or November, depending on when you write NMAT, and the last exam in the month of January. This year it is going to be 7th of Jan. So not everybody is able to sustain this stretch of preparation. If you have not really designed the structure of your preparation, and if you have not really kept the targets in place, you will not be in position to give your best shot for XAT 2018, and hence it is very important. Let us look at what to expect. First one, XAT going online. So online is not a new format for us. We have already seen CAT since last 9 years. This is the 9th year. We have seen NMAT going online since couple of years, and there are other exams like CMAT, which has already been gone online, MHCET being online exam. So online pattern is not something which is new to this sector, that is test prep industry. So that should not be a problem. With online, there can be other queries like whether XAT will provide an online calculator or not, whether XAT will have sectional time limits or not, how will they manage essays. So I think it is really quite beneficial, especially when you look at managing the time limit for GK and essay writing, that is the part 2 of XAT. It will be quite convenient for anybody to keep a track of your time limit when you're spending time in GK and essay. And in fact, it is a blessing in disguise for a lot of students who have poor handwriting, because here you will be writing your essay online. The next element in the expectation of XAT 2018 is the pattern. Now, we have seen some changes in the last couple of years, from 78 question in 2016 to 72 question in 2017. So let us not speculate, because here these numbers are not something that should be really a cause of concern, because more or less the breakup will remain in the same pattern that we have seen so far, and more or less XAT will anyways announce the exact pattern and give a demo of their online pattern. So let us not speculate much about it. More or less we are expecting the pattern to be on the same lines, and even the marking system, that is a negative marking system or marking system for unattempted question, which was a surprise element in the year 2016. So let us see, not much to speculate, but expectation wise very similar to what it has been in the last 2 years. Now let us look at these sections. First one, data interpretation and quantitative ability, the most feared, the most dreaded section perceived for XAT as an exam. Now if we look at the pattern, in 2016 there were 29 questions, in 2017 there were 27 questions. And in both the cases, the proportion of DI was almost constant. So around in 2016 there were 10 questions, and in 2017 there were 12 questions in DI. So this balance of DI and quant more or less can be expected to be on the similar lines this year also. Looking at the level of difficulty and the breakup of quant questions, we have seen that the proportion or the weightage of algebra has reduced a bit in last 2 years, though we cannot assume that the pattern will continue in 2018 also, but this is slightly contradictory to what is happening in the other exams like CAT, which is increasing the weightage of algebra. In XAT, it is quite surprising that they have reduced the weightage of algebra. Nevertheless, the focus should be on the word problems based on arithmetic and areas like PNC, time and work, time, speed and distance, even numbers. So because these are the real gems of XAT as an exam, and this is where most of the students, especially the students who love maths, really enjoy solving these type of questions. So definitely, as far as preparation is concerned, these should be the focus area. Apart from that, geometry has been really tough and consistent in last couple of years. So be prepared for questions that can have multiple theorems or multiple concepts integrated in the same question. So you can have a circle and a triangle, concepts of a circle and a triangle in a single question. You can expect that. And try to avoid geometry in case you're not really comfortable. Try to focus more on the standard questions, the arithmetic based word problems first, and then move to geometry based questions in case you're not really comfortable with geometry. Otherwise, any particular pattern is good as long as you are scoring marks in quantitative area. As far as data interpretation is concerned, traditionally XAT has been focusing more on complicated and calculation based sets. So there will be multiple graphs. It can be table and a pie chart, table, bar graph and a pie chart and a line chart. So then can be multiple graphs and questions followed by it. Too much data has been the tradition of XAT, and most likely XAT will continue to live up to its tradition. So expect a very similar data interpretation based question. In case online calculator is available, this should help most of the students, especially in data interpretation type questions. Not probably in quant, but yes, in DI it will definitely help. And in case online calculator is not available, be prepared that you'll have to work on calculations. In that cases, if you find the data to be too complicated, you can avoid solving DI at the first attempt, focus more on quant, get the minimum score in place, and then when you have extra time, you can always go back to DI based questions. Next section is verbal ability and reading comprehension. Here, if we go by the pattern, RC has been quite dominating and in fact the most decisive element in the entire XAT paper. And verbal ability plays very crucial role as far as sectional cutoff is concerned, especially for the HRM course. Because the cutoff of verbal ability goes as high as 90 percentile or sometimes more than that. So, and in fact, when you look at the scoring point of view, verbal ability and reading comprehension section is the area where you are more sure of that if you really work hard on, you will be in position to score. You cannot be that sure in case of quant, especially not the students who are not really good with quant. They cannot be really sure. You can manage cutoff, but as far as scoring 99 point something percentile is concerned, verbal ability is slightly an easier target than quant. So preparation on RC, especially on dense RC, especially on lengthy RCs, because here XAT has been asking passages which are really lengthy. So you can expect out of 4 to 5 passages, you can expect at least 2 passages having length of more than 600 words, and the remaining 2 will also not be less than 400 words. So trying to ensure that you have good speed and at the same time you have a good variety of exposure before you attempt XAT. Also, as far as strategy is concerned, RC is being more dependable area. You can try to allocate somewhere around 30-35 minutes and ensure that you attempt at least 3 to 4 passages. In case you have 5 passages, you should attempt definitely 4 passages, and in case you have 4 passages, you should at least attempt 3 passages, and try to ensure that you attempt overall at least 50% of the section questions of that particular section from RC itself. That will give you a major boost and ensure that you are reaching a sectional minimum or a sectional cutoff for the required institute. Parallelly, the other areas cannot be ignored. Critical reasoning has been most consistent, and it is one area where you can be slightly depended on. So if you really work hard on critical reasoning, those 3 to 4 questions that they've been asking consistently can be easily achieved in additional 10 to 12 minutes. Other areas can definitely work wonders and can boost your score. So areas like grammar, analogies, filling the blanks, word usages can definitely help you improve your scores. Even parajumbles. Here you will have choices. Nothing has been mentioned so far about non-MCQ questions. So if you have good choices and if you are able to eliminate choices, there is a high chance of scoring from parajumble questions also. Next is decision making. Now this is completely different section where the questions that you will encounter are not something that you have seen in other exams. So because decision making is very unique in XAT. So if you go by the last 2 years analysis, decision making section has been the kingmaker. So there are students who have been able to score really high, and there are students who have missed the cutoff, sectional cutoff of decision making, though they have been able to achieve an overall cutoff. So this cannot be taken lightly. If we try to analyze further, decision making section has mix of logical reasoning based questions, generally asked in the format of a set of 2 to 3 questions. Organizational situations or business situation based questions. So situation can be on marketing or HR. Ethical dilemma based questions. So they'll throw you different situations where there's an ethical dilemma and you have to decide whether you want to take a practical way or more ethical way. Sometimes a case analysis or a situation analysis, okay, and some random other decision making questions. So if we, especially the students who have a prior work experience, who understands organizational structure, who understands the various situations that generally a business setup faces, will be in better position to handle the ethical dilemma based questions and even business organization based situations. Whereas freshers can have an advantage in logical reasoning based questions and case analysis based question. Especially the case analysis has some data in it, so which we saw a pattern in 2017. So depending on what you are comfortable with and what is the target score that you are looking at, you can start attempting the questions accordingly. So if you are a fresher, you are really good with logical reasoning, you should definitely start with logical reasoning based question. Try to ensure that you are getting at least 1/5 of the total number of questions in that particular section, and then move on to other type of questions. So quite interesting. There are some formal questions available. There are some interesting strategies available for decision making. Do watch our video on decision making. It will be really helpful to you. But overall, try to ensure that you do not fluke around, do not take chances in decision making based questions. Here there are no correct answers, and hence you always feel that you always try to give benefit of doubt to yourself. So taking chances in such cases can boomerang and just make you slip out of the cutoff range. So be very careful in decision making. Next is the part 2 of exam, that is GK and essay. So if we analyze GK of last year, out of 25 questions, majority, that is around 13 to 14 questions, were focused on current affairs. So be prepared for the who's who of business, economics, politics, books and authors, science and technology, and some of the awards and recognition that has happened in the year 2017. Also, there were a couple of static questions primarily based on science, history and geography. So a couple of brush up on standard history, geography based question should be sufficient enough to help you score from those questions as well. Now, as far as essay is concerned, though there are no formal preparation, but yes, we can always give you tips on and structure on essay. XAT generally does not miss out on the flavor of season. So in 2017, the keyword was jingoism. So 2018, you may never know, the keyword demonetization may be picked up. So be prepared on what is trending these days, and be prepared to have an in-depth analysis of whatever current topics which are trending. So you can expect anything out of that. The next part is now to work out on the strategy on the day of XAT. Now, before that, let us try to understand the cutoffs and the tentative scores at different marks which students observed in XAT 2017. Let us look at a table which gives us the tentative scores of 90 and 80 percentile, and also the rounded off percentile cutoffs in each section and overall cutoff for different programs, that is HRM, the BM course, the GMP course, and also for XIMB. So for 3 sections, that is verbal ability, decision making and quantitative ability and data interpretation, we have the expected scores and the tentative percentiles against it, which is given to us in this table. If you observe this table carefully, we can say that each of the sectional cutoffs can be achieved at approximately 1/3 net score, and you can get an overall cutoff achieved when you are getting approximately 40% of your of net score in the section. So if you can plan it really well, you should be in position to manage the sectional balance and at the same time build an overall good score. Thankfully, in most of the courses affiliated to XLRI and even in XIMB, the sectional cutoffs are not that high when you compare it with the top IIMs through CAT. So when you look at the sectional cutoff of quantitative section in XIMB BM program, which is the flagship course, it is somewhere around 90 percentile. Now 90 percentile is not a tough task to achieve. If you look at the expected score, it is somewhere around 7 to 8 marks. So out of 27 questions, I'm sure securing 7 to 8 marks was definitely not a big challenge. So we can try focusing on the sectional balance. Now when we talk about the strategy, we can have 3 different strategies. First one is for the students who are targeting the HRM course. Second one is for the students who are targeting BM course in XLRI. And the third one is for the students who are targeting the affiliated institutes through XAT. So first one for HRM, we can observe that the weightage of quant or the sectional cutoff of quant is not that high. So it is somewhere around 70 percentile. So getting 70 percentile is possible, even if you get somewhere around a net score of 5 to 6 marks. So what somebody can do is focusing on quant and DI and try to build up somewhere around 5 to 6 marks or approximately 1/4 of the score, and then focus completely on the other sections. Here the standard assumption is that there is no sectional time limit. In case there is a sectional time limit, obviously the strategy will change. But if there is no sectional time limit, getting a bare minimum score in quant and then focusing to build your overall score from decision making and verbal ability is something which you can try to do. Similarly, in case of BM, here the sectional cutoff of quant is slightly higher. So what you have to do is try to get a bare minimum score, so approximately 1/4 from each of the section, that is verbal ability and decision making, and then trying to concentrate more on the quantitative section and trying to build a score from that, so that you get the sectional cutoff from there also. And the strategy should be such that you are left with at least 20 minutes towards the end. So considering 170 minutes as the entire length of the paper, try to finish all the sectionals in 140 to 150 minutes and keep 20-25 minutes reserved for the section where you were really comfortable and you think that you'll be able to pull up your overall score. So that strategy should help you in both the cases, that is HRM as well as BM. Whereas in case of other institutes affiliated to XLRI, that is XIMB, even SPGN or IMT Ghaziabad, these institutes focus more on an overall score and not sectional score. So the ideal strategy can be putting up somewhere around 25-30 minutes in each section first of all, trying to get a bare minimum score, trying to attack only these questions where you are 100% sure, trying to build that 5-6 score from each of the section, and then after say at the end of 75 to 80 minutes, stretch another 15 minutes for one section where you are really sure of building an overall score, and then last 20-25 minutes for the second best section that you are really sure with. So you can have one section where you are not really great, you can score somewhere around 80 percentile, whereas the other two sections you can try crossing 95-96 percentile, so that your overall score of 95-96 percentile is achieved. This should help you secure calls. As far as XLRI, BM and HR course is concerned, the objective is not just to get the sectional balance in place or the cutoff in place, but obviously overall score has to be built around, because an entrance exam will play a good entrance exam will definitely have a strong weightage in the overall admission process, especially for the non-XLRI institutes considering XAT scores. I hope the video was quite informative and did help you in your preparation plan and strategy for XAT. Do get in touch with us. In case you have any query, please comment on this video. We will get back to you.